tutorial, step-by-step tutorial, drawing with the Paintology drawing app from the Google Play Store. The whole idea of the live stream is for you to learn techniques. So it's not about the app, it's more about the philosophy and fundamentals of drawing and painting and the reason why you can see such drawings that are available on the channel. Many confuse the drawings being done with the traditional materials, but in actual fact, it's mainly done on the phone and also on many of my latest drawings, I have been using my finger. So this is typically what I have, and I'm showing you this one in landscape. And the reason for doing landscape is because YouTube and myself were working out an issue on the back end where recently my portrait drawings are coming out as landscape for some reason on their servers, and that's making the image look a little smaller than usual. So I needed to complete the previous tutorials in the landscape of the portrait, so you can imagine such a small area I was working with. But luckily enough, I was able to pull it off and convey and the techniques that I needed to show to my viewers. So today I completed a a drawing on the Paintology in landscape as well. This is the produced channel, and in case you don't know, there are two channels supporting the Paintology drawing app, and you can go and download this image so you can follow along with me. Let's have a look. So you go to the home page. I need to update the home page actually. Go down a little bit down until you see live streams, and then click on that, and you will see the channel produced 12th September, and click on the image, and this is the image that you can download on your phone, Android phone, and draw along with me. So this is a good idea for you to follow along with me, so you can actually post it on the drawing app. So I'm going to clear that, discard that. So you can post it on the home page of the Paintology once you've installed in the community section on the community. You can see the previous images I've uploaded. So far, no one has actually posted anything yet, but I'm pretty sure eventually there'll be an abundance of people, because the live stream that I started a week or two ago now has about 50 people following it and watching it. So I'm guessing out of that, one or two will probably use it, but it's growing at a rapid rate, and so it would be a good idea for you, if you want to, don't feel uncomfortable or anxious about drawing on the phone. If you do, you're just going to hesitate and take longer to learn. Just get on with it and just do it. That's the only way advice I can give you. So this is an excellent way for you to rapidly develop skills. And I'm not talking about learning digital tools and learning anime and illustrations and graphics. I'm talking about making drawings that are very similar to traditional drawings, and also the methods and techniques very similar to traditional. In case you don't know what traditional means, it's a name given to the manner which people have been drawing and painting for the last 500 years using physical materials, only because the digital medium came about 30 years ago because of the internet revolution. And then it's through that that the digital art medium has evolved, not necessarily because there's so many traditional artists who wanted to draw in digital. In actual fact, they have overlooked, many of them have overlooked the huge versatility and power of the digital medium, and are feel that everything is confined by tools. That's not necessarily the case. I will show you in this particular drawing that I use one brush to complete the drawing that I'm going to provide as an example. Yeah. And I'll show you how easy it is to do that. You may have seen some of my artwork and you may be still scratching your head deciding whether it was done digitally or traditionally, but eventually some of you will come to understand that it was all done digitally, and it's just a question of developing the techniques of art, which I'm going to teach you. They borrow a lot from the fundamental art training that you received in traditional materials, right? So that's what we are, and that's the reason why I don't look to tools to do the blending. I'll show you how you do the blending on this. So first of all, we'll tackle the sky, and this drawing maybe in two parts. I want to break it up, and I would really appreciate your feedback and comments so I can help you further to see where you are on the drawing, and post your drawing to community so I can give you positive feedback if you want to learn. So this is like having right at the night now, having a one-to-one teacher, so it's really, you can take full advantage of it. In time, I think there will be a lot of users, so you may not get the feedback right away. So it's a good opportune time for you to take out your phone and you just use your fingers. And if you need to use a stylus, don't buy anything expensive. Just go to eBay or Amazon, buy it for a few dollars or something. And that's all you need. So this is the picture that's loaded on the Paintology app that I have opened here. And as you can see, this is the trace mode. So blank canvas, meaning this is my canvas. So we're going to stick to the line brush. All right, and then I can show you there you see. That's my blank canvas here. Let me show you. And then I go up. You can see in trace mode, my drawing still shows up. And that's the power of actually copying and understanding the tones that are actually crucial to making good drawings. And that's what I'm going to teach you. So if you're in the top half, you can select the color picker of the reference image. So let's do that there. Can you see it's orange? Let's go to color picker and then pick this color here. See, sort of that tone color of the gray. And then if you have this trace bar at the bottom, what colors do we pick? White, white, white. Why white? Because that's the color picker you're picking from your drawing canvas. So anything above that is your reference image colors that you pick, and that really proves to be exceptionally powerful in improving your drawing skills. So the first thing is block coloring. What is that? Well, block coloring means you pick a brush size and you simply, just like you would with an initial painting, you would first slap on some big colors, like in acrylic or oil paint, slap on the big broad colors and the black, the orange, the sun area and the river, right? And then you would continue developing the details bit by bit. That I have a name for that. It's called the drawing process. And if you want to check out more, please go to paintology.com and the blog link, yeah, and you'll see many useful tutorials. There's the other area where you can check out many of my questions and answers is the Quora platform. So you can go to paintology.quora.com, yeah? So that's where you'll find it. So the first thing, let's slap on the colors then. And what brush size are we going to? I leave it at 75%. No, actually, let's take it to 100%. And I'll show you the density in a little bit more depth after when we get there. So let's go to 30% and see if that's a good brush size. Let's see. That's pretty big, isn't it? We can cover the surface area really quickly, isn't it? And yeah, let's do that. Okay, let's use that brush size, 23%. Okay, so first of all, we remember I'm in landscape mode, so this is it. I'm picking color picker always, and then just picking the tones. Okay. I'm just color picker, then I'm getting the, when I pick the color picker, and then wherever my stylus or finger rests, it will assume the color of that reference image, and I can drag along and maintain that same color. Okay, again, okay, now just drag along. That's it. So I'm creating tones that are sort of close to the tones of the reference image. Yeah, that's all I'm doing. And then that's slapping on the colors. So I'm doing a bit more than what an artist would do with their big canvas. Slap on the colors, and they might even blend it, but I'm not doing any blending. All I'm doing is following where the tones are light and dark and using that to color the actual adding these similar tones. That's all I'm doing here. Yeah, don't worry about getting it exactly right. The initial pass, no artist spends microscopic details of this slapping on the colors. Otherwise, they wouldn't call it slapping on colors, would they? Just do what I'm doing here. Very easy. And if the white gets too much, and just do that. Just follow the tones that are showing up, and then follow the tones here. Look at that. I picked the actual background. That's why it showed us like that. Let's put this here. So there. And then the same thing, the land. It hasn't got any particular shade. Notice I went horizontally on the sky, but in this area I'm not too bothered because they're almost very similar colors, but if you look close enough, they're not. They're actually the black, even this black varies in tones. And this comes through practice. So as you practice, you'll see it. And this is what practice is going to improve your overall drawing skills so much. Okay, so here. And notice I'm going to pull the color palette. There's quite a few tones that I've pulled. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They may look similar to you, but in reality they're not. I could prove this by taking that color into Ed Photoshop or GIMP and then getting the hexagonal code, and then you might believe me. But right now you have to take my word for it. And that's really what defines a good artist from a bad one, because they can, well, I wouldn't say bad one, I would say novice ones, because they haven't mastered the art of tonal distinction, which is basically understanding where the tones are in a drawing, whatever. If it's life drawing, they can see tones. When I look at a drawing, I'm going to show you now. I'll show you here. And then this is our drawing. Okay, this is splashing on the colors. And this is the actual drawing, actual image. Now, you can ask me, why do I like this painting? Well, this image, because it's sort of very pleasing to the eye, isn't it? The really contrasting image, the sunset, the sun blazing at the background, and the orange hue across the horizon and the reflection from the river. All the aesthetic points that make this so pleasing to the eye, and the swirly clouds at the top. And that's what composition, and that's what makes it very appealing. But then if I were to put my artist hat on, I will look at it very differently, not so much from the point of view that I'm looking at a picture. I would be looking at it from the point of view of drawing this and then transferring it into an art that unique to me. And the way I would do that is I would look at these contrasting images. I would say, well, I've got to define those contours on the city landscape, and then the natural landscape on the left, and the more of the city on the right. Can you see why is it more looks like city? Because look, you can clearly see their structures, and they're not plantation structures. They're square, rectangular, right? And then I would look at the tones, and I'd say there's a very dark tone of the buildings, which makes it easier from the point of view of an artist. It makes it a lot easier to do something of darker and changing the tonal values within the dark region rather than very lighter. So this is something I learned when I moved from completely white paper to grey tone paper. You should give it a try, actually. It's very forgiving. Grey tone paper is forgiving in the terms of the contrasting values you have makes the final drawing can make the final drawing the how do you call it, the areas that you haven't addressed properly stick out more, whereas the grey tones will actually be forgiving and don't show those as well. And on top of that, the grey tones, when you add a white color pastel pencils that I used to use, it really does stand out and gives a bit of depth. I, I actually used to carry a grey toned book with me, sketchbook, and you had a set of colored pastel pencils and mainly black and white. That's all I needed. Charcoal pencils, actually. And then I drew that, and then I made improved my drawing quite a lot using that. So the same thing in drawing digital is no different. Don't think digital is any different. You might be confused why, how would one draw in a traditional manner? Well, this is where you're going to learn, isn't it? By watching this. So I've got this down, and I haven't used any tools. All I did was a big brush. And now you're going to say, well, it will need blending. How are you going to do that? Well, that's where we get clever with the techniques. And to do that, if you've seen my previous videos, I will simply take that density. This is where the density comes in. And let me show you. Let's take it down to about 20%. Take that down to about 13%, the size. A bit, not like quite half, but let's see what happens. Let's go and pick the color of this gray, and then we pick that color of the gray, and then what happens, this gray, right? And then we brush. I'm just going to show you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, just going back and forth. Do you see that? That's created a blending type effect, hasn't it? But the brush size is too big, so I'm going to reduce that. Right, and let's pick the adjacent yellow hued color. Just go over it again. Look, can you see that? Look at that. Just create a blending type effect, hasn't it? But not quite. So we're going to bring that density down even more. Look at that. And then we're going to pick the darker tone. Just keep lifting my pen and just going over. Can you see that? How it sort of blended. And now we're going to do but we need to work on this quite a bit. So unless you've got all the time in the world, I would take that density up a little bit, and then so I can do it in a fewer strokes than more than there. So take that. So I'm simply going over the whole area and blending it, okay? See, that's sort of blended out, isn't it? Then I might increase the brush size more so I can make more faster progress. And then take the density. Experiment, that's all I can tell you, is don't follow what I'm doing exactly to the T. It's just not feasible to do that. If you did, you're no robot. You're a human being who's going to have particular skill sets, and you want to develop those skill sets, right? So here you can see I'm just blending it. Look at this area. I'm just going to blend that out. Look, you'll be surprised with how quickly I do that. Look at this. Pick that color, and then you'll see if it doesn't work quickly, just change. Then I might increase the brush size just to get the effects more quicker. Look at that there. And then take that brown out, the darker. So all the edges are pretty much disappearing on the right in front of your eyes. That is the power of blending. Can you imagine if you used a blending tool for that? You'd have to go all the way down here and then there with the one color, saturated color, and then somehow get the tools, blend it, and then you have to pick another color and blend that. God, it's so difficult. I don't know how people would use. That's the reason why they can't go beyond what the tools allows them to. So unless you do it manually like I'm doing here, right? So I could actually increase it a bit more, a tad more. Just experiment with it. No big deal. There. Let's save that. Okay. Look at that, that's disappeared into thin air, isn't it? And now you might think, well, I'm going to do that. Well, again, it's very simple. Get onto that color that I have, the darker color bandwidth, and then just simply, and we've got that density down to 11%, and just simply go over that edge here, look. And then if it's not working, increase it. Look, that line is gone, isn't it? Perfect form of blending. In actual fact, my daughter's got such a good handle on this that she can beat me, and she's only 9 years old. She's teaching me how to blend. So it's quite nice to see someone come up, and she has a different technique actually. So the technique involves line and the shade brush. I'm showing you basically one line brush only because I don't want to complicate things, you know. For a beginner it can be hard to understand everything. Look at that bold line. So let's take a look what we have here. See, we're shading and bringing it all the way down. Look at that here. So we're going to pick that color. Just look at that. Disappears into thin air almost. Right? Disappears into thin air. Just like that. And then we could just carry on because we've got the same color, or we can pick the orange. Right, that's it. I think the brush size is a bit too big now for me, for my liking, so I'm going to reduce that. There you are. So see how that works. So beautiful, isn't it? So little effort. And you can look at the reference image and get some guidance, get some ideas, but really you can just follow your instincts and just go with the flow, right? Why not, right? And then I'm just going to pick that yellow and just shift it there. See how much control you have over that? I'm not going to go close to that sunny area because that's an area that I want to get right, because it is the central focus of the whole image. Apart, the eyes does rest on that. And then we can look and see what this area is like. Look, really thin bands here going on. We can do that afterwards. But for now, we're just merging this. So then we're taking out these hard edges, right? That's all we're doing. Taking out these harsh edges that was created initially, right? And softening it. Let's look at that. Then I can do this. Right, look at these layers, right? So that's like a computerized layers now. I'm gonna get rid of that, so I can show you how that works here. Very, very easy, isn't it? And then pick this color and then merge it into that adjacent. Very easy. So just like magic almost, isn't it? And then pick this color, merge it onto that, and then pick this color and merge. Right, to see that how that got merged so easily. And then pick this, pick that, merge. And then pick this color and merge to the top, right? And then you don't want any harsh edges, and pick that color and then just merge. And if you want, you can just pick the yellow and merge and make it like not completely horizontal, but give it a little bit of character, right? There. There's so much you can do with creativity. So let's see what we got. Yeah, we got a lovely sky going on here, isn't it? Although you can see that this is not quite right here. So let's look at the original and see if we can get some ideas of what's happening in the original. There's white. See that? There's white. You can flick back and forth. Some white going on here. And then, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to take it down. Okay, and then, of course, take that, and then take it down, and then take down here, and then just do what this is showing here, and then this will automatically come out. Right, then if you just play with the density, increase it, there, it's gone, right? And then have another look again, and you can see that this lighter haze is darker haze is coming here. Okay, and what have we got here? We've got some things going on here, and then we can continue to use the same brush, just mix it, yeah, like that. So it's a bit like mixing, isn't it? So now what we have is a good image, but the central focus is obviously, let's say that is obviously out of whack, isn't it? So we need to change that. Let's keep looking at the original and this one, and you can see lots of things going on, but I'm primarily focused on this white. And I'm thinking, how am I going to do that? Well, first of all, get a good brush size so we can get this yellow out the way from here all the way to just pick up those yellows that's happening. Right, so just give that the border so I can see what's going on, and then increase the density if that's not coming out nicely. Yeah, we're trying to sort of get close to what that sun is doing, you know, the shiny area, right? And then let's see what we have here. Some yellow going on here, so I'm picking the color picker of the exact tones, right? And you'll see it'll be a big improvement from what it was before, obviously. So here, right? And then we can see there. So this is actually a good example of the drawing process that I was telling you earlier. And the drawing process means, I'll explain in more detail, but let me just finish this quickly. Right, just getting that and that. Look at these beautiful brown. Right, go there. So we can see what happens here. That's some orange coming in here. And there you can see how the old image looks better, isn't it? And that's the drawing process. And there's something going on here which I will tell you. The important part of the drawing process is that we have gone through steps in developing this painting, and it was a natural transition. So if you followed me, you'd probably get something similar to where I've arrived at. And that is a drawing process. Now, what the drawing process means, you will not be able to go to the next step of the drawing had you not come here. So this is fundamental to what most beginners lack, is because they watch too many videos from zero to all the way to finished product, and they think anything in between is a miracle or a super talent that which they have none of. And it's not true. It's these artists that you see creating more marvelous works of art do so through having learned the drawing process instinctively, but it can be very difficult for them to put into words what that means. Well, you know, I've been pretty good with picking up skills in over my years. For example, I'll give you a clue in salsa dancing. I'm pretty proficient in dancing salsa. It took me years, obviously, to master, but the point is that it can be broken down, it can be distilled, it can be learnt in a stepwise fashion, and if you do master that, you can become very accomplished, and it just looks totally natural. Someone who's watching me dance will think, wow, you know, such a They just say that is so good, just good. That's all. That's all they can say. They wouldn't be able to break it down to the crossbody lead or the double turns or the all the moves that I do, and but they just see it like a refined form of skill set. It's the same with painting. You just see it, but you're never able to break it down because you're a beginner. You haven't done it before, and you can't really judge it. But me, when I watch someone, I can see what they're doing, and that in salsa dancing, and you learn from you actually master it. You learn. In fact, it was a period when I was going through quite a bit of dancing cycle. Went entered competitions and taught salsa, and it came to a point where some of the people, the men, came out of the woodworks and admitted that they had learned by watching me, which was very flattering, of course, to say the least. But that's what they said. They said that you pulled it off and I needed to examine you how you did it. So if you really want to learn, that's the mindset you have to have. And they're pretty good. They've, they've, they've obviously got similar moves, but they've added their own moves, to mine. But that's how you learn, isn't it? That and the same with drawing. If you think you're going to go from zero to stratosphere with minimal effort, then you're not really come to learn, have you? You just want something that is quick fix in drawing. I mean, there are lots of quick fixes in paint. Paint by numbers is one where you tap, and the color gets filled. But Paintology has a paint by numbers where you actually have to paint it, just like you would in normal paint drawing. So there you are. So let's dabbling. Now you can see the drawing process means I won't be able to get to the next step unless I had actually arrived at this step. And that is really fundamental to the whole drawing steps, right? You can't. Here's the analogy that I use with dancing is that dancing also requires a motion called the Cuban motion, which means your step is in the opposite direction of the hip movement, and your hip movement should be in opposite direction to the step you take. It's very interesting. I never really broke it down to that level, but when I did get some proper training from a good dance teacher, she actually, I actually managed to learn the essential skills at just at the right time when I was getting too frustrated. Frustration is a really good thing. It actually signals you that something's going on and you need to change. And that's when I learned that frustration crept in, and I'm thinking, I'm not learning from this set of teachers here, and they're not teaching me what I really need to know. So I took private lessons, would you believe? Very few people, because I found a teacher, and guess what? I had to I had to disbandon all the bad habits that I had to pick up. I thought I had the Cuban motion right on key. Not true at all. And then I had to disbandon that before I got it right. And then I was shown all the basic moves from the very fundamental aspect. And then guess what? It wasn't me that was enjoying the dance. It was the followers who had raised an eyebrow and said, "Wow, that's a very smooth crossbody lead you've got there." So that's when I realized that I was on the right track. So it's similar to drawing. So you have to keep these things in mind. They're so important to the acquiring skills. Let's look at this. Now you can see blatantly there's something going on here. So let's take the brush down, all right, and then let's stick to what we have, and then let's just diffuse that area. We don't want to see that dark area there, is it? If we can help it, that's all. This is the color that is. In fact, we can increase the density so we can do it more fast. If we got more colors, yeah, we have more, but we can pick these colors from the original image and then just transfer them. That's all you need, and nothing detailed. And then we can still make out that there are. Just remove that, okay? And then here, beautiful, beautiful, lovely yellow, isn't it? Don't worry about getting it right the first time. Now, let's look at the whole image. Click on zoom, and there we have something that is similar, if not better than what we had before. Just, if you'll just excuse me for 1 second, I'll be back. Hello, sorry about that. Just needed to see someone quickly. Okay, so what do we have here? So yeah, so we got here so far, right? And now let's look at always have a look at the original and look at and then ask yourself, how could I improve this? Yeah, now that you've got this powerful, now you can say, well, I'm going to still stick to this brush and then make these lovely orange streaks that are going, and then get it down, and then take that to, and then so I'm going to create these lovely streaks that's happening here, and then just keep playing with it. I'm not going to tell you what exact brush size you're going to use. You have to experiment. If you don't, what's the point of learning, right? Right, just experiment, just like I'm doing. Look, I'm this lovely yellow. I'm going to capture that. Okay, okay, and then keep doing that. The dark gray here, dark, yeah, and then I go down and create that. Right, very easy, nothing complicated. And then we got that lovely orange. Don't worry if you've got something different, that will just disappear. That's the beauty of the digital. So powerful. People forget the power isn't defined by the tools. I'm sorry, friends. Not defined by the tools, but defined by techniques. Do you think a hammer is a hammer? A hammer is a hammer, isn't it? Does it actually help you become hammer things in perfect proportions? No, of course not. A saw is a saw. In the right hands, it will do wonders. A drill is a drill. Brush is just a simple brush. You think it's going to make you an accomplished artist? Of course not. It depends on which hands it's on. Right? So if you really want to learn, these are techniques you want to learn nothing more techniques. Look at that, how we've captured some of that essence. And then you can see in the drawing process that we need to refine some of these areas here, right? Very easy. So I can see that there's a lot of bigger brush needed for this, and then maybe take that down so you can work at it more. Then beautiful tones going on here. Just use your color picker. Look at that, beautiful tones here. Just pick the color picker here. Lovely tones. And then you really appreciate color when just like you appreciate dancing when you do it more, but many people just like to watch, just like they watch performances because they're marveling at human achievements, human accomplishments. But you could take part in drawing now that we have all these tools available, so there's no excuse if you really wanted to do it. And okay, so let's have a look. So we go back and then go out of it, and we got quite something going on here. Now I think I probably need to do this in two parts. Obviously you've got a lot of busy life, and I have too, so I'm gonna finish off by showing you the horizon, and this is something you're going to enjoy as well. Let's look at the picture. Look at the defined edges. So I'm going to create that top part. I'm going to show you this part on the top here, all across, and then show you how it works. And that's where the zoom function comes in. I haven't obviously finished the sky to the best of my ability, but I will do that in the final touches. But look, let's come here, really zoomed in. Look, 440%. So obviously if we're going to create the foliage or the natural trees on the left, we really need to take that brush size down. And then since it's quite a contrasting color, we'll go to 80%. And then let me show you what I mean. Let's pick this color, and then let's just trace around it. Let's see what happens. See? You see that? There. Just the right. Look, see? There. Just wonderful, isn't it? You see? There. So I could keep it here and then pick out those tones, which is not to worry. Just pick them out if that's the tone that you want, and then, or even not actually have those tones. In fact, I'm gonna try and maintain the tone I already had, so I don't have to do more work, right? So I just went back to my canvas here on the lower half, and then picked that color and redid that area, and then I take it down. Been using 2% really a lot lately. So here, so what we can do is here, just follow the outline, pick the colors, follow the outline. Don't worry, if you've gone over, this is your drawing, this is your creation. You don't have to follow the exact, right? This is your creation, so you can look here. I feel that I can't do anything really over there, so I need to bring that out from my own drawing, right? And then this is my drawing, okay? It's my drawing part. Just bring that here. Keep to the same, and just clean the edges. That's all. So I can now get back to this bit, and then really take it down. I feel I need to take it down more to define those tiny edges. And you'll see what a difference it makes, right? So just go here, and you can see there's a black, mine has gone over. So you can carry on, but I do like the details of these. So what I'm going to do is take the color of and then just use that color to define the horizontal sky, and then I'm going to draw those extended tall spires that are coming out. So in the meantime, I'm just taking the colors from my own canvas and just shaping it around so I can get much of that replicated. Right, look, my cursor is below, so that means I'm picking up my own colors, my own. And then here as well, can you see here? So here, and just pulling it down. I'm using the color picker again and again, naturally, because I want the, can you see that drawing in there? That's quite a wonderful, isn't it? That's actually another set of buildings set far away. So we can't do anything much to that, but let's see what we've got. Not right away. So we're going to create the horizon. Let's finish this horizon. Let's go back to where we were and see if we need to do it. You see that beautiful back, and then we're going to, that's the beauty of tones, that we could, now I've got it the top half here and a really 2%, and then I'm just simply using the color picker, and look, this is the back, the habitation, which is a bit of a distance here. The back, okay, that's all it is. So it's good to understand what you're drawing, obviously, right? Color picker. Right, and then we can pick the color picker and get this, the foreground area, and then go color picker again. Then we go here, right, color picker again, picking those lovely buildings at the back, and you'll see that such a little effort makes all the difference. It's tiny efforts. And then we'll come to do the post. Okay, I'm just going rapidly through, picking the color picker, making sure I'm building the tones, the right tones, yeah? Okay. Okay, it's really quick. Don't think too much about the whole thing. Just follow what your eyes can see really quickly, because we're not creating a technical illustration like Unfortunately, most digital artists do think make turns it into too technical. Right there. Let's see if that's done anything. Here, let's see what we've got. Look at that. That's immediately created a horizon that you could almost, your eyes could almost say, that's believable, you know? That's totally believable. So we're going to keep working on this. So I plan to finish the whole drawing in part 2. So I hope you will join me on part 2 of this drawing, where we'll go through refining it as part of the drawing process. So keep in mind, this is a drawing process, and the drawing process means building up one step at a time the whole drawing. And I'm not using layers, I'm not talking about layers. And if you insist that I should put layers on it, you should go to other apps that have lots of tools. And because here it's all about techniques, and techniques is going to teach you the way traditional art has been done for many centuries and hopefully continues in the digital medium as well. So there you are, and I hope you can provide some feedback, and please subscribe and comment. And as I've said, post to, if you've been following along to this, post to the community. I'm sure to give you some positive feedback so you could improve your skills further, okay? And if you have any trouble with anything, just do let me know. All right, I'll see you tomorrow with the second part 2. Thank you, and bye bye.